Hey, what's up, guys? Alexander here, Dash Astrologist. So, Mercury, Gemini, Air, we're shifting from the month of Taurus into the month of Gemini. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is also an air sign. So, it's really all about communication, all about relationships as it's connected to the lovers, frameworks, being able to speak and listen and exchange with people. And it's really interesting also because the emphasis is about moving from the sensual experiences of Taurus into like forgetting all about that and not depending on our thinking process in terms of giving so much emphasis to our thoughts. We all, have worries and give so much emphasis to our thoughts that it really can stop us or motivate us, if we use them in the right way, to live the life the way we want to. The first part of Gemini is from about May 20th to May 30th, the end of May, and this is ruled by the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is it's kicking it off right off the bat there. It's about not depending on our senses. So if we're depending on our senses, then we are absolutely bound by our thoughts. We will really not be able to navigate through life the way we want to, and maybe we will have doubts, maybe we will have anxieties, over mentalizing everything. A lot of us, we are all guilty of it. So the lesson here during these first 10 days, the challenge of every year when the sun is transiting this decan, is to really trust in our intuition and to not be so fixated on our thoughts and what we think about everything. So Gemini, I just want to also mention, Gemini is the last cycle of the spring season before we enter summer. With the summer, when the sun moves into Cancer on the summer solstice, when the new season starts. So it's really all about finishing up, cleaning it up, the spring season. And this is the first start. The first part that starts this is to already right off the bat not give too much emphasis to our thoughts, like I said, and to trust in our intuition. So then the second part from June 1st till June 10th is the Nine of Swords. Now, it's really, if you look at all three symbols for the month of Gemini, never mind that it's also ruled by Mercury and the lovers, when we're working with the minor arcana, if you will, which is really where we all are, Gemini looks very intimidating. It's like, whoa, I mean, these are like heavy cards. But Gemini is an air sign. Gemini is light. But we know that if our thoughts are negative, they can be really heavy. So you want to keep in mind here, looking at these cards, is not to scare you, but to really see what we're going up against, what the story could be, and how to overcome it every year. Okay, just when the sun's transiting, because other planets can transit them also, and maybe in your birth chart we can have a session, figure out what's going on exactly there in Gemini for you. But I just don't be you look at these cards, you go, oh my god, Gemini, let's just get through it. But there's opportunities there. So the Nine of Swords, I just want to mention, is this guy here, and it's like really about what keeps you up at night, the thoughts that disturb you, what prevents you from sleeping well at the end of the day. And it builds upon the first part of Gemini once again. If we are giving too much emphasis to our thoughts, then we are going to end up in this kind of place, like waking up, not able to sleep throughout the night. Thoughts are in a way kind of attacking us. Underneath the bed there's like a painting or a carving, if you will, of strife, of a man striking another man. It's like all the strifes and the arguments and the battles that we face, which should really always be about our ego. This should always be about our ego. We're fighting our ego We want to overcome our ego, not overcome others. We want to overcome our own egos, our own ego. So if something triggers us, we need to overcome our own ego rather than, attacking the other guy, because otherwise it's going to wake us up in the night. It's going to disturb us of our sleep. So now the good side of this card is that if you look on the quilt, on the blanket there is all of the archetypes are there. We have all the symbols. We have Mercury, Mars, Aries, Gemini, Cancer. All of the archetypes are there in that blanket, and that blanket is about protection. So we know that this tells us that we are protected when we are using the archetypes, using our astrology to overcome our situations, to overcome the conditions, all these like chaos and drama in our life. So this is what this is really about, that we are always protected, that we will always be wrapped in the archetypes, and that they are there for us and we can overcome them. Rather than waking up, then we are becoming restored and we are surmounting to new and amazing things, which I think is really, really, really exciting. So this is what the benefit of that card is and the challenge during that time. And the third part, the third part of Gemini is from June 11th until June 21st, and this is closing the cycle of Gemini and of the spring season. And this is a card, you look at this and you go, oh my God, just keeps getting worse. No, not really. It's amazing. If you are being too mental, then this is where it can take you. That then you need to open up the channels, like with acupuncture. But if we are not putting so much emphasis on our thoughts, if we're being open to new ideas and we're communicating, then this is about absolute healing. Acupuncture has already done its thing. It's healing. It's already worked. We don't need to puncture, or we don't need to open channel flows, because Mercury is all about channels and opening the channels and having clear channels and proper communication. So that's what that's all about. And this last part of Gemini before we enter summer with the Cancer and moving into water. So this is all about air, okay? And the new moon we have on May 25th this year, and it's in the first part of Gemini. So it's really putting extra emphasis once again back on the Eight of Swords, and not relying too much on our thoughts and putting too much weight. So this is going to help us to create a new cycle of trusting our intuition and using our thoughts rather than letting them use us all the time. So I, as always, and especially during the month of Gemini, use the Gemini essential oil blend. Like, put it in your lamp, wear it as a perfume. It smells wonderful. This is going to really help you with the thoughts. Get them in the air to create a good air traffic in your own workspace or in your home, if you will. It's really, really important, especially during this last part of spring. I wish you all a wonderful month of Gemini. And if you'd like to schedule a private reading with me, you can do so to see what's specifically going on for you. Okay, thanks a lot. See you next time.
Ooh.